Alright then. So I'm pretty sure I've talked about this in past videos, but I want to make a full video about it. You know? Cover all my bases. Cover all the information that I want to bring to you. So make it as easy as you possibly can. Now, this is a bit of wisdom I took out of Atomic Habits. I don't know if you've read that book, but a lot of people make fun of it as the performative self-improvement male book. But it comes with a lot of information, and a lot of people like to disparage that information because, oh, it's popular, oh, everyone's reading it. Basically, to break down the principle of what you need to learn is, let's say you want to start a new habit, right? Like meditation or writing or reading or, I don't know, doing exercise. You basically want to make getting into that thing as easy as you possibly can. Now, that can be done in many different ways, and one of those ways is to lower the goalpost. If you already track your habits, you know it's going to be some sort of system where, oh, I did it today, let me check it off the box. It's a check mark, just get it off there. For those of you who actually, record your times and everything and how long and how well you do the things, that would be, you'd be in a bit more of an advanced sector of self-improvement than this spot right here. This place is for the beginners. This is for the people who smoke weed every single day and are not present with anyone in their lives and just feel like they're at rock bottom and really need to pull themselves up. And to go back to the subject, a big part of it is just knowing where you are and being humble. Basically, we all think we can do an hour of meditation. Our egos get to us, especially us guys, and think, oh, we can do an hour a day of meditation, and then we do 1 or 2 days maybe if we're really willful, and then we just don't do it. We say fuck this internally. We don't even say it out loud. We just kind of stop. So we have to be humble enough to tell ourselves, okay, an hour a day isn't exactly what's going to get us consistent enough to make this thing a habit. So personally, when I started meditation, I started with 5 minutes, and I didn't even set a timer. I just looked at my clock and I said, okay, close your eyes, do the inhale, do the exhale, focus on your breathing, and whenever your mind just wanders to whatever thought may happen, you don't judge it, you don't see it as a bad thing. You just kind of gently guide your attention back to your breath. And yeah, I told myself, okay, I just look at the clock, close my eyes, do it for as long as I can, and, set the goal for 5 minutes. And what ended up happening was I actually did it for 11 minutes, and that's actually a really good thing. But if I closed my eyes and then opened them after 5 minutes, I still would have checked it off as a successful meditation, because it's a positive feedback loop. Now, positive feedback loops are really, really important when it comes to habit building like this. You don't want to feel like you've failed too many times, because what happens is that nagging voice in your head that was always there and told you you're not good enough to be this person you want to be goes, yeah, there it is. There's the proof. You're not good enough, so why even try? And then you silently, without even uttering a word to anyone, to yourself, you end up just stopping. So you want to develop that positive feedback loop as fast as you can. And what that may mean is you go to the gym, you pick up weights for 20 minutes, and then you leave. And now, the experienced and advanced lifters go, well, that doesn't really do anything. When in actuality, it helps build the habit. it's much better than just not going at all. So going, for those of you who are listening to this, going is most likely much better than what you've been doing. With meditation, 3 to 5 minutes of mindfulness is big. It's huge. In our information age where we have these supercomputers in our pockets that hit us with radiation, that's a story for another video, we are so easily entertained. It's at the touch of a button. Back in the day, you had to go down to the local theater if you were even allowed in, considering you'd most likely be part of the peasantry. If you were allowed in, that would be your entertainment. Or you'd have to, play some checkers or play Go or whatever your country's pastime games were. Now, we have these incredible devices that can show us life, it can show us death. In the past month or so, we saw a huge rise in people dying on the internet. I'm pretty sure I don't have to say exactly why in the United States here. We get exposed to the extremes, and our nervous systems can't really tell the difference. We're not sure whether we're actually in front of someone dying or not. And this has led to basically an epidemic of people unable to pay any attention to the important things. Now, the important things are 99% of the time way less interesting than the random bullshit you see on the internet, I open up my app and there's, I open up YouTube, Instagram, and there's all sorts of filters, pictures, thumbnails that are meant to get your attention. And the apps themselves are designed by people who go into autistic detail over what's going to get your attention, what shade of red on the notification is actually going to get you the most interested in clicking on that notification. People think about this shit, and you gotta give yourself some props for even being able to resist it in the slightest. You gotta thank God for that. And when it comes to fighting against that, when it comes to getting your attention back, when it comes to developing habits like meditation or reading or things that are maybe a little less instantly gratifying but much more rewarding in the long run, you got to give yourself grace, and you got to go, okay, right now I can only do 3 to 5 minutes because my attention's so fucked. And it can be a brutal reality to face. I used to meditate all the time in college, and I never thought I'd be the type to just be a scroller, Instagram, Reddit. I gotta fucking delete Reddit. I've deleted it so many times because of recent events and re-downloaded it because of natural impulses. And you just gotta be gentle with yourself, but also firm and disciplined with yourself, and just say, I'm doing 3 to 5 minutes of meditation every day. It sounds easier. It sounds much easier to do it like that. And what's naturally going to happen when you say every day, oh, I'm only doing 3 to 5 minutes, is you'll get to the end of your 5 minutes one day and be like, I could go longer. I could do 10 minutes, 20 minutes. And soon enough, that power creep will seep into your habits. And that's how you find yourself building up the time, building up the meditation practice, building up that attention. And when you build those up, all of the other delayed gratification activities become much easier. You find yourself much more aware of the triggers for your bad habits. And you can take the time to respond instead of react and say, do I really want to do this today? Do I really want this? Am I coping for something? What's going on in my life? that is causing me to want this junk food or this 3 hours of scrolling or this video game playing. And you can more than likely think of much healthier and better ways to deal with that, whatever it may be. I got plenty. I had a friend who killed himself once, and I need to constantly think about how that could affect me. Everyone's different, though. Everyone's different, but these methods are tried and true, and they work for almost anybody. And with that, I want to give you more in the future, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.